for y'all personally, what would you say is the biggest barrier for relationships for you today? Even the ones that are single or the ones that are in or the people that just got broken up or whatever. What's the barrier that was the hardest in your opinion?
The barrier, I would have to say a lot of friends and family, because I don't know, like a lot of my friends that I have, they're very into like the toxic, they like being in the streets, and I mean they even like admitted it themselves too. So it's just
Douche
like
nozzles.
That was the Rolo.
different for me because like I'm a lover girl, like I'm lovey-dovey, hopeless romantic. So like having their opinions or like anything that they have to say does affect me in a way when it comes to relationships, but at the same time not, because I let it affect me as much as I want to affect me, you know? But yeah.
Oh
No,
my God, that
that's
was so
good.
funny.
What do you think is the biggest barrier for relationships right now?
Definitely communication. I feel like a lot of people nowadays, everybody's on their phone. Nobody's doing face to face anymore. Like you can't even go on a date anymore without someone checking their phone constantly. It feels like, and I'm
Instagram got your bit.
definitely communication. Just making sure that other person is comfortable with things. Because like I mean, it's just that's just all it is really. Just making sure you're talking with one another and spending quality time together.
In your opinion, who has the bigger communication issue? Is it usually the men in general? Do you think it's usually the men or the women?
I like to think that it's kind of 50-50. I know it probably isn't, but I think it kind of depends on the person. Because I will say, I think one of my factors was I was constantly kind of like looking at other things to do maybe, and I wasn't like paying attention as much as I probably should have. But I know some men are also the same way. Like they don't want to, do like the little romantic things anymore, like buying flowers or like even like little things like going on like dates that aren't just like spending money, just like quality time, hanging out,
It's all
like
about the little things.
little things.
So like you brought up like the little things like buying flowers and stuff like that. I would argue that most guys want to do those things.
Right.
Like probably like 80 and 90% of them like are willing and wanting to do those things. But it's like a small percentage of dudes that are like the big ass that don't need to do that. But like a lot of guys kind of just to get they gotta go get the flowers.
Right. And it's more like when you're long term in a relationship, like that first part, like you're all lovey dovey, you're all like romantic. It's that first like those wedding nights. I forgot what it's called. I'm sorry.
Honeymoon
stage.
That puppy love stage.
And then eventually you guys get so used to each other that you guys aren't doing those little acts of like romanticism anymore, and it's just kind of falls out.
It kills the whole.
It's hard to get started back onto that, and that's just my opinion, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah, that's probably just because that's when you know a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the honeymoon phase. Yeah, well, the honeymoon phase is just you acting like a different person in order to be with the person.
That's true. But like it's also like little things, like remembering things, like in conversations I've talked about. Like I don't like necessarily repeating like myself. Like if like Dr. Pepper or something, it's like great, she likes that, and then like later on you forget and whatever. Like if you're allergic to peanuts or something, and these are like little things, not like the real things. But I mean like being more of a gentleman and like opening car doors and stuff. Like when you get used to each other, you stop doing those little bitty things, and I think it just kind of means a little bit like to keep doing them.
Chivalry.
Yes.
Chivalry. Yeah. Okay.
It's dead. Doesn't exist
it's dead. Who killed it?
It's probably just because I mean times are changing. There are a lot of people, they don't have like those like roles that they used to have. They just feel like everything's like 50-50.
What do you think about what's stopping relationships though today, bro? Like what's the boundaries? Yeah, I'm good about going back to it.
No, wait.
What's stopping relationships right now?
The biggest boundary, you think?
I think it's so many different aspects of that though. Like that's really hard to just pin down for one thing. But I don't think that anything that we have right now in our culture is helping relationships. Like as far as it could be social media, it could be the promotion of feminism,
everything.
It could be the economy. Doesn't nothing promote relationships at this point. So it's really hard to just pinpoint one thing. But I think feminism definitely killed it.
Bro, I mean that's the best point you can make though, is that just all of it.
Yeah, because what feminism did in particular is when it taught women to be promiscuous with like the sexual revolution, is it just made it so that the men at the very top get all the options. So the men like me, it's no problem for me. But for a lot of other dudes, it's hard to tie down relationships because women feel like they want more.
Hypergamy. What do you think is stopping relationships?
Okay, so again, long answer. First one, I think social media and the internet is the worst thing, because back in the day before the internet existed, unless you had a friend setting you up or you saw a cute girl on the bus, you didn't have incredibly easy access
Yeah.
to just troves of the other gender or whatever you're into. And nowadays, all you have to do is download Bumble or get that new pairing that people are doing, or like literally just get on
One of the racial
Instagram.
dating apps. There's so many racial ones too.
There's
Yeah,
so
that's true.
many
But what I'm
dating
saying is that
apps.
there's it's everyone is at everyone else's fingertips, and it's so easy, even if you're already in a relationship, to just see somebody else on social media. And it's like you never would have met that person in a million years, but now that you've seen their Instagram profile, you're like, who's that? So that's one. Two, I do think there is something to be said about modern femininity and just that gender roles in general aren't what they used to be. And traditional gender roles promote relationships, and modern masculinity and modern femininity don't line up. Their path does not equal marriage and children and monogamy like it used to. And so if monogamy and children is not like it's not everyone's goal anymore, then what's the point of getting the relationship if that's not even where you're trying to go anymore?
Yeah, and I think they brainwashed us to not want the family and not want the kids. Like I think that they sold us the lie of going on vacations and spending our money
Funny,
living
like-
in the moment is better than like
That's what I've
living
always
for
said.
the future.
It's like people are like, just take it a day at a time, like spend it. But yeah, but you can go day to day at a time, and then you blink and it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
So if you're not, I don't say like live every single day towards your end goal of your future, because you never know what's going to happen in life, but also just don't take it day by day, because then you're not working towards anything. And it's that people in this day and age don't work towards anything anymore.
Yeah, they give up more because, like you said, there's so many options.
Yes.
What do you think? What's the biggest barrier to relationships working today?
So two things. One is that everyone thinks that there's like a better option out there no matter what, because all the dating apps, all social media, it's like, sure, I can get all this attention and make him my situationship boyfriend to where I get everything out of this and he'll get everything he wants out of it. But let's say if I hypothetically met this dude on Bumble and I think we would match better, I'm just going to leave him and go with the other one. I feel like that's a lot of, like, I personally, if I'm talking to someone, I'm talking to them. Like, that's where my attention focuses. Like, hyper focus on that mother hecker, give them all my love and affection.
As it should.
But other people, like, I see my homegirls, like, yeah, like, I stayed at his house for a month, but I'm going to go start staying with this guy now. And just, like, totally flip the script without even saying anything. And just, like, I think it's a better option. I get wanting to see if there's better options, but there's a point where it's, like, you can't just go test out the entire world, like meet someone that you genuinely enjoy. And then a mix of like the economy and politics. So like extremists on anything mixed with in the economy, like no one has enough money to go on dates. No one has enough money to go out. Guys don't want to buy you drinks at the bar because it costs $25 for something like the girl
That's
might
true.
actually want.
Yeah.
They're like the rent going up. There's just so many outside factors where there's just adults like all our age having to live at home again. You don't want to invite a over if you're living in your mom's house. Like, let's be real. They want to wait until they have enough money to financially support them. Like for marriage, guys don't want to get married until they can financially support themselves, their wives, their kids. Same concept for relationships. Sorry, I've dated broke dudes and they kind of feel like they can't do anything nice for me. I don't care if there's zero money in it whatsoever. Like we can go do something nice.
Same.
Cook a happy ramen meal. I don't give a rat's booty, but it's also like
cook a spread.
if
Yeah,
they
that's
want to
good.
be a dude and try to work their way up to the 1% so that they can like want to deserve me more, like, hey, go at it. Like, thanks.
Okay.
That's yeah.
What do you think is the biggest boundary for relationships?
I mean, I feel like everybody pretty much hit.
Yeah, everybody hit hard.
It always sucks being at the end of the.
Oh, God.
But I would say definitely unrealistic expectations of each other, you know, and then it kind of leads you back to social media because you see these models.
To the
or
mic
these-
force.
Yeah, you might need to turn hers up a little bit, bro. She's gold.
Okay. So we use social media. We see all of these hot dudes, models, these people going on trips, and like, you know, these people living this like nice lifestyle, and we want that from a partner. And so we go into these relationships having these expectations of a hot guy, hot body, you know, all of that good sex and all of those things. And the first time something comes and it kind of turns you off, you like, oh nah, it's not my person.
The first dick. Yeah, the first dick.
So, but what,
Makes it real.
who would you say that affects the most? Would you say that affect women more or men more? Because
Honestly, I used to think it affected the women more because we just want some, you know, I think women are more affected by social media because we want this so-fitted lifestyle
Yeah.
that men really don't. But then sometimes I think it, like lately, men are kind of like going more on the feminine, you know, not all men. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying a lot of men do live for Instagram and want
Attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, attention is to women what sex is to men.
Exactly.
So like,
Yeah.
and yeah, and I would
Yeah.
agree. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
guys who got that backwards and they like want vanity and all types of.
Validation and things.
well,
Yeah,
well,
it's
because
kind of funny.
You know, the reason I ask is because like oftentimes I hear like they're just being more options. But most men don't have any options. So like when you say there's this abundance of people that you could just like message on Instagram or you see on Instagram, most men don't look at those women and think I'm gonna have a chance with that woman. But women, on the other hand, they look at those dudes and they look at those situations and they think that could be me.
I think
No,
that
See, I don't agree. I've
sometimes
never
both-
found someone I wanted to like hit up on Instagram and be like, oh, I'm gonna slide this guy's DMs. I've never done that.
Well, I hope not. It's not your
Yeah,
strategy.
but you look at the lifestyle and you want that lifestyle. It makes you want that lifestyle more.
Oh, men do that too.
Yeah.
Men covet other
Yeah.
men's success like a fire drake in its dragon horde.
Yeah, but I think men are
It's
more
like y'all trying
accepting
to
of
piss
where.
on a fire hydrant.
But I
Yeah,
think men are
exactly.
more accepting of where they are in the hierarchy.
Not at all.
No.
Couldn't disagree more. We'll get into that.
So you think a man that ain't doing nothing with his life?
I'd love for
genuinely
Amelia to
believe they
finish her
gonna do
point,
it.
and then we can get into this.
Alright,
and
we
then I'm gonna clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because-
Clean it up.
And I'm trying to think that I hope I didn't lose my thought.
You got
But
this. Okay.
no, so going back to men, I don't think that men are hitting these women up, but they're having this expectation. It's just like somebody overloading on porn. Like they think that their sex life is about to be like this when they get with someone. So how I see it is like these men are seeing these Instagram models, these, all these good things. So when they go out into reality and this woman does come that might be on his level, he's expecting her to, come with it. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I think another thing is that we are not dating in our bracket.
Yeah.
Like, if-
Yeah, if
Trying
we
to
look
go
at
above.
statistics, people usually end up with people in their same bracket, and a lot of people are going up and
Yeah.
and under. Yeah.
such a sidebar. Another thing I was thinking of is like Facetune, and so
Oh yeah,
a
so
lot
bad.
of guys.
Yeah.
Whenever a man goes, she's so pretty, look at her natural makeup, and I'm like, that shit is edited. It is edited so much, and so whenever I see that, and then them be like, why aren't you like this porn star? Why aren't you built like this? And it's like, first off,
Well-
I don't have fake tits, I don't have a fake ass, I don't get liposuction, whatever the heck.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a normal person.
Well, that
Can't
No,
have,
it's
like,
those,
My bad, go ahead.
no, I was just saying like the unrealistic expectations on kind of both ends. Like, yes, girls are like, I prefer a man taller than me, but also like the other way around. Whenever it's like, I want a skinny girl with big boobs and this and that, this and that.
Like, do you
feel
know how
like
anatomy works?
because it's like because of social media and it's like, oh, all these girls look like this. It's just like, no, we don't. Look at them in person. That's not real.
Well, see,
Go see-
a lot of that comes from the fact that women don't shame other women anymore. When a woman used to come outside with a
That's
face full of
true.
makeup and no clothes on, women used to go, "You're a put some clothes on," because
That's
there are
true.
men out here,
And you know what that
and that's going to build a
stems
certain
from?
expectation. But since women don't have any standards for each other anymore, they say you could go, girl, do whatever you want to do. Women are competing more and more than ever
yeah.
to try
Yeah.
to meet a
And-
certain expectation.
This isn't like a fat body shame thing or anything like that. But one thing is like I do see a lot of girls be like, yeah, you get a girl whenever they're a little bigger. I'm okay with you being whatever size you get. I it away all the time. But if you're at the point of being unhealthy to where like I'm worried about you,
I'm not.
that's
gonna
not the
support
time
that,
to be
yeah.
like, yeah, boss, like get it. It's supposed to be like, hey, let's talk about
Yeah,
plans.
because every
and
girl,
like because your mental health is not. There's no way it can be good if you're unhappy with yourself.
yeah,
So.
every girl that say that Lizzo is beautiful, but if you tell them they look like Lizzo, they get offended.
Yeah.